Hello and welcome back to Enlighten Us Arabic. You are joining us for lesson 36 and today we are revisiting verb form 4 with a focus on the asma. So let's remind ourselves of the example that we did last time for verb form 4 for af'ala. Now we use the word akhraja. Akhraja, yukhriju, akhrij, ukhrija, يخرج. And the asma مخرج مخرج إخراج. Now today we are going to be expanding on the asma. We're going to do something a little bit different. Using the Hans Word Dictionary, we're going to be looking at the definition of the verb form rather than each individual word. So for verb form 4, for أخرج, we have to move out, take out, get out, bring out, dislodge, to pull out, to unpack, to unload, disembark, detain, to turn out, oust, to emit, send out, to stick out, or to fish out. These are all the variations of what this particular verb form denotes. Now let's expand on the ism fa'il first. Right, let's have a look at the ism fa'il, and today we're expanding on the word مخرج. So مخرج, مخرجان, مخرجين, مخرجان, مخرجين, مخرجين, مخرجون, مخرجين, مخرجين, and the feminine مخرجة, 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 مخرجتان, مخرجتين, مخرجتين, مخرجات, مخرجات, مخرجات. And if you're a little bit curious as to where these words came from, well, if you recall, the ism has 4 characteristics, and each one of these words is an expansion or an expression rather of these 4 characteristics here, except definiteness, where all of these words are common. Please do go back and have a look at previous lessons to understand proper a little bit more. Now let's move on. Let's do the same with our ism maf'ul. And again, we've covered the ism maf'ul in some detail in other lessons. So we have the word مخرج. So مخرج, مخرجا, مخرج, مخرجان, مخرجين, مخرجين, مخرجون, مخرجين, مخرجين, مخرجات, مخرجاتان, مخرجات, مخرجتان, مخرجتين, مخرجتين, مخرجات, مخرجات, مخرجات. And again, what we have here is the combination of all the various characteristics. So we've taken this word and then expanded with every word that you would need, depending on the situation, depending on where the ism, for instance, fell in a sentence. Now let's have a look at our last ism or ism category. And that's the masdar. Now the masdar is quite interesting because we're going to be expanding on this word, إخراج, but what you'll notice is that we have إخراج, إخراجا, إخراج, إخراجان, إخراجين, إخراجين, and then to pluralize we have إخراجات, إخراجات, إخراجات. We are having to use the feminine version of the word. So there is no masculine plural for this particular word, or for the masdar more generally, with the exception of the previous verb form we looked at. There is no feminine singular or feminine dual for the masdar. And that's something that you'll have to practice and you'll see in writing and you'll become used to. Now let's move on and look at the second example that we looked at. So last time we also looked at أسلم. أسلم, يسلم, أسلم, أسلم, يسلم. And then our isms, مسلم, مسلم, إسلام. And again, our focus is expanding on the isms. But before we do that, let's return to the Hans Word Dictionary and let's have a look at the definition for this particular verb form rather than for each individual word. So for verb form 4, we have the meaning being to forsake, leave, desert, give up, betray, to let something sink in, to hand over or turn over, to leave, abandon, to deliver up, surrender, to declare, but also quite often to commit to the will of God, to become a Muslim, to embrace Islam. Now let's get on with expanding. Let's start off with the ism fa'il. So we are expanding on the word muslimun. So we have muslimun, musliman, muslimin, muslimani, muslimaini, muslimaini, muslimuna, muslimina, muslimina, and now the feminine, muslimatun, muslimatan, muslimatin, muslimatani, muslimataini, muslimataini, muslimatun, muslimatin, muslimatin. And as hinted at, each one of these words is an expansion of muslimun based on the 4 characteristics of the ism. So as you'll notice, this side, for instance, is the masculine, this is the feminine, the first row is the rafa, nasab, and then jar, etc., etc. Please do go back and revise the previous lesson to understand the characteristics a little bit more. Now let's move on. And now for the ism maf'ul, and we are expanding on the word muslimun. So muslimun, musliman, muslimin, muslimani, muslimaini, muslimaini, muslimuna, muslimina, muslimina, and for the feminine, muslimatun, muslimatan, muslimatin, muslimatani, muslimataini, muslimataini, muslimatun, muslimatin, muslimatin. And as we saw before, each one of these words is an expansion based on the 4 characteristics of the ism. So again, you've got the masculine side here, the feminine side here, you've got the various number of the word muslimun, you've got the various states based on the rows, and definiteness is an exception in the sense that all of the words that we have here are common. Please do go back and have a look at previous lessons for what makes an ism proper. Lastly, let's have a look at the masdar. And again, we're seeing the same thing with the masdar. So to pluralize, we use the feminine plural. So we have islamun, islaman, islamin, islamani, islamaini, islamaini, islamatun, islamatin, islamatin. And again, the key to help you identify the characteristics of each of these isms. We have reached the end of the lesson. Thank you for joining us. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. See you in the next one, inshallah.